Can I get 2 orders of 20-piece chicken McNuggets?
Any sauce with that?
Plenty of Szechuan sauce. We got it.
Show me what you got.
How's it going, guys and geeks? Welcome back to the Geekritique show. As you can probably tell, we have just went to McDonald's because they have more of the Szechuan sauce, which if you are any fan of Rick and Morty, you probably realize this is like a big meme going on right now. And
it's kind of a big deal.
McDonald's previously introduced this a couple months back to much rioting amongst the Rick and Morty fans because they did not have...
It was out of control. It was pure anarchy.
It's actually really ridiculous that fans tried to riot for this stupid sauce that was previously introduced back in I think '98 with Mulan. Now it's here again, so we're gonna try it. This is the first time I've had chicken McNuggets since I was a kid.
For me, it's a classic. It's a Jennifer classic.
I was always grossed out with them when I was a kid. Well, not always, until I got one with cartilage, and I just have not gone back
Okay, let's
since.
not talk about that when I'm about to eat them.
All right, sorry, my bad.
God.
Let's do it. First off, I'm gonna try the Szechuan sauce.
Alone?
Yes.
Yeah. I want mine dipped.
Okay. It's kind of warm. Oh, it's probably...
Yeah, because it was in the bag.
So this is also a Q&A that we pulled, but...
Okay, ready?
All right, let's do this.
I dunked mine.
You already did?
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
It's tangy.
Mm-hmm. It's actually exactly how I expected it to taste. It's good, though.
It kind of has that Asian zing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not huge on it, actually.
Really?
It's a little more sour than I expected. But it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's actually...
No, I'm with Rick on this. I think this is pretty tasty. Go get yourself some ketchup.
All right.
Not a single drop should be wasted.
So we have 16 questions that we're going to be answering. The first 2 are from our Patreon subscribers, Richard Poole and Zach Hall. So thank you guys so much for participating in our Patreon, for donating to the creating of this content. So
you guys basically bought us these nuggets.
You bought our nuggets.
So thank you. Thanks for the shish.
Yes. So Richard Poole. Hey, Jen and Dakota. Hi.
Hey.
My question to you is, what was your favorite movies as you were growing up as kids? Mine was probably Shrek or Ratatouille, but that's because I'm barely an adult. LOL. Well,
I don't think we qualify as adults either.
No. I like Shrek too. I too like Shrek, I should say. As a kid, I probably would say Land Before Time.
That's a classic.
At the age of 5, I think my dad got us the VHS copy of Empire Strikes Back. That was my first introduction to Star Wars, and that's just been a big part of my life ever since. As a child, I remember my mom got really annoyed with the fact that every day, before school, I would watch one of the Star Wars movies.
She said literally every day for a while.
Maybe a couple of years.
Yeah. So he knows those movies very well.
The original 3 anyway.
Yeah, she's like, she loves Star Wars, but she was like, even I was getting sick of them.
So, what about you, Jen?
For me, it depends on my age. I don't know what age group we're talking about. When I was
Kids.
really small, my 2 favorites were probably The Little Mermaid, I loved, and Totoro. My mom had Totoro for us. We grew up with that movie. I don't know a lot of Americans that did, but for some reason we did, and I loved it.
I only recently got into Totoro when I was maybe a young adult. So I wasn't the proper age for it, but it's still a great film. I love most of Miyazaki's stuff. And this actually ties in with something that we want to just give you guys a heads up on, is that we just started our Amazon influencer shop, which is basically we have some recommendations of geeky stuff that we would think that you guys would be interested in. So you can click in the description below to see all those things that we're interested in, including My Neighbor Totoro or
Minus the mini years.
The Mr. Meeseeks plush. We have all those things that we personally like about geek culture. Yeah, so you guys can check that out to see what we recommend. It's pretty much just a lot of Kingdom Hearts and Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So enjoy.
The classics. And then too, I was going to say when I got a little bit older, I had a really weird obsession with The Mummy. I loved that movie. And I was the type of person, even as an adult too, if I like a movie, I will keep rewatching the same one, over and over again. I don't know why. And that was in heavy rotation.
Zach Hall. Hey guys, what is Luna's favorite thing to watch with you? Well, this video is very hard to make because we're eating. So pretty much anything that we're watching is interesting to Luna so long as we have food with us.
Yes, that's pretty much her main requirement.
Yes.
I do remember her getting pretty into Planet Earth. We were watching that, and she was like, I think all of, well, I can't say all the colors. She's probably colorblind, but
The movement.
Something about it she was into. She's a nature lover.
Probably the animals. And that's it for our Patreon questions, so thank you guys again. We go now to our Discord questions because we also have a lot of friends over at Discord, so if you guys want to check out our Discord channel and talk to us directly, link is also in the description. But Joe Sheep, you ask, what are you most looking forward to and what are your biggest concerns about Infinity War? It's a loaded question. I think for me, the interactions.
Yeah, that's for me too. Like all the characters that really like don't go together, but these really odd circumstances make them go together.
There are so many like
really fun
one-liners that just need to happen, or interactions that would just fit so perfectly. And as far as like concerns, probably that it's going to be just another blockbuster like Age of Ultron, and not like a fantastic movie like The Avengers was.
For me too, that it'll feel rushed because I think this should be a really long movie, but because they want people to go and see it and they want to sell tickets, they're probably not going to make it as long as it ought to be. So I'm just worried that it'll feel a little congested. But, I mean, we know all those characters so well. They did really good for Civil War, so if they do something similar to that, I'll be happy.
There's like a lemongrass flavor I can kind of taste.
I don't know.
It's growing on me, the tanginess. I was expecting something closer to barbecue. I think that's what's throwing me off.
I don't know where you got that from.
I don't know.
Have you not had Szechuan sauce, like real Szechuan sauce? Sorry, I'm like wolfing these down because I went for a run today and then I decided to do leg training and I'm so hungry. Like now it's just like going to be nonstop eating.
Miles, you ask, do you think there will ever be an LGBT superhero lead / standard blockbuster in a film and doing even half as well as Black Panther / Wonder Woman? Well, to be honest, I didn't think Black Panther would do half as well as Black Panther did. So anything will surprise me now. As far as like, will that ever happen, like an LGBT lead superhero film? I guess there's not many big LGBT comic book characters that deserve their own film outright. That said, Wonder Woman is known to be bisexual. Perhaps they'll go that route in Wonder Woman 2, but if they do, I don't think that they'll market it as such, like Black Panther was marketed as being a big movie for the Black community.
Marvel, like you said, like, you know, there aren't a lot of like really popular superheroes that warrant their own show that are gay, but Marvel does a really good job at taking the smaller characters and making them main characters. So I mean, it is possible.
Certainly.
But yeah, like you said, I wonder how they would market that, because I feel like a lot of parents out there still wouldn't take their kids to see that movie.
Ziggy Stardust, will you ever visit somewhere else in Britain? And for those of you guys who don't know, our honeymoon was in Ireland and Northern Ireland, which I think only Northern Ireland is part of the UK. But
we did go there.
For our 2-year anniversary, we did London and different parts of the countryside, but not nearly enough of England, definitely.
Yeah, and we really want to see Scotland.
Yeah, I think that's next on our list of places to visit in Britain. But as far as like going back to any places, I want to go back to Ireland again. I think that really spoke to us. Although we loved London and we definitely have more places to visit.
Yeah, I think if we did England again, I would do a lot of other stuff besides London.
Right.
Like, I loved London. It was really fun to go, but, you know, I feel like I'm more of a country girl. I'd rather see more of the country.
Zach asks, what are your opinions of the DCEU, or the Detective Comics Extended Universe? Yeah, I guess a lot of what they have going on right now is very Detective Comics-y. And as far as our opinions, some films are good, some films are bad. I think a lot of the general consensus is that the brand is colored with failure.
I mean,
a little bit.
But I try to avoid thinking of it that way because, as Wonder Woman proved, like, just because the other films didn't do too well, that doesn't mean that this one won't do well too. And I think when you start to have that, you know, bias, it could, you know, almost limit your experience. I'm more character based. Like, if I see a character that I'm excited about, I get excited for the movie. Also, a lot of people have like commented on previous videos that we've done where we talk about how Justice League failed at the box office. They say that it made $600 million. It cost them about $300 million to make. They definitely made off on it
no matter how you look at it. But they're counting things entirely wrong because the studio doesn't get all $600 million. They get probably 40% from American markets and 35% from other markets. They're definitely not making their money back on that. And on top of that, they had to market the film. So that's another 100 to 150 million that they lost on this movie. Will it make its money back on home release? Remains to be seen. What are your expectations for Solo, A Star Wars Story? We've talked a lot about this. I don't think we want to ramble on about it. I'm tentatively curious.
Yeah, it's a film that I wasn't looking forward to seeing, but there are some things that I'm excited to see.
Great Dane, do you think there'll ever be a VR world like the Oasis in the near future, like in Ready Player One? And if there's going to be a $1 billion hunt, can I join your team of Gunters? Yes, you may.
You can join our team.
You'll have to fill out an application, but I'm sure it'll work out for you. But we do have VR chat, which is pretty big right now. That's where the Uganda Knuckles meme came from. But as far as like the future of that, I think it'll be more company and brand based. Like you buy the rights to use this avatar or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Of all the many geeky franchises that exist, which are your top 3 favorites? My top 3 are the MCU, Star Wars, and the Arrowverse. I guess it's
really hard.
It's a hard one because you don't really categorize like your top favorite franchises. You have your favorite movies and stuff, but I'd be lying to myself if I said MCU and Star Wars weren't in my top 3. So there's that and probably Doctor Who. That's my favorite TV show. Yeah,
and for me, it's hard.
I have more Szechuan sauce.
Go for it. It's really hard actually, because I also like we were, I'm thinking about different things and I'm like, yeah, I really like that. I'm really bad at categorizing by favorites, and I feel like my opinion changes a lot based on my mood. I really love Star Wars. Do things like The Office and Arrested Development count? Really love The Office. That's not like geeky though.
You know what? I might switch out Doctor Who for Lord of the Rings, even though
that's
I don't
good.
care about the Hobbit trilogy of films that they made. Doesn't do it literally a thing for me, but my favorite movies are the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, that's true. You should say that.
So there you have it.
So I'll take Doctor Who, because one of us represents it.
There you go.
I don't know if I even gave 3, but whatever.
Do you have high hopes for the new series of Doctor Who? I always have high hopes for the new series of Doctor Who. It's kind of just the way I am with Doctor Who, especially every episode in general, just because the nature of the show is like trying something you haven't tried before. So I'm hoping to get a lot of that with this new season. I'm
just excited to see fresh ideas, a new face. This will be my second time seeing a new Doctor, and I'm really excited. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to some change. That's what the show is all about.
Have you seen the IT crowd? I always want to read the IT crowd, but that's obviously wrong.
God, that's a scary image.
No.
Someone a while ago told me to watch it, and I didn't. And this reminds me that I should.
Should we? Let us know. It's really growing on me.
It's tasty. It's a tasty delight. I'm getting really full. How many do we have left? 3. I feel like I've eaten so many more than you. How many have you eaten?
I don't count.
I'm trying to figure out how many I ate. I don't count.
Are you Ready Player One? I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
She's Ready Player 2.
Oh, it's a funny story about Ready Player 2. I don't know why that reminds me. When we were kids and I was like 3 years old, I would want to play video games with my brother. And he would like hand me the remote and be like, yeah, so you're like this character here. And, I'd start playing and be super into it. And he never plugged in the remote, so I was just like thinking I was playing and just following this character around. Isn't that like the saddest thing ever? I'd get really into it too. So yeah, I'm Ready Player 2, but I don't know if I'm playing.
Did that ever get really frustrating?
I think I was like too young to understand the buttons. Like I was just button mashing anyway, so anything that they did made me happy. And then sometimes if I was like winning, I was like really pumped, and it was not for my own merits at all.
Wow. Smerry Gary. Do you watch the Olympics in South Korea, and what do you think of Johannes Kleibo? I usually am very good about watching the Olympics. I'm usually good at watching the Tour de France and stuff like that. But this past year, I just have not been in tune with it. I've probably caught it once on TV, and I haven't kept up. So I'm sorry, I don't even know who Johannes Kleibo is.
It's probably my fault because I never watched the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched the Olympics, like all the way, the whole thing. I don't know why.
What do you think of the new Doctor Who logo? We actually asked you guys to give us questions before we did that video on the Doctor Who logo. So we'll just link that right here in the card if you want to check that out. We have spoilers for the new season. Just beware. We do let you know when that happens, though. I'm excited for Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. Are you two excited? Yes. Very, very excited. I mean, that's probably...
Who isn't?
That's probably, for me, my most anticipated film in, like, 5 years.
Well, there you have it.
And this last question from Jack Hill is kind of a loaded one. So it's a little bit... It could get spoilery based on our discussion of these things, but who do you think will die in Avengers 4? It's kind of a loaded question, too, because we don't know who's going to die in Avengers 3. I think we've talked about it before. We both think that...
I think Captain America and Iron Man are going to die. And I'm going to cry a lot.
And I think maybe some lesser characters in the MCU, rather. They're not lesser characters in the comics in general, but maybe something like Spider-Man. But we know that in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, people have come back from the dead. So I'm expecting once all the Infinity Stones are put onto the Gauntlet, there will be like a mass resurrection. We might even see the Quicksilver...
oh, hey, that would be cool.
Played by Aaron Taylor Johnson come back. Rumors of him being on set.
What?
So, but that could be time travel because there is going to be also the time stone. So.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of new stuff.
Yeah. So we'll have to play it by ear. Well, we're not playing it by ear. We're just going to watch it.
We're going to watch it by eye.
But I definitely think by the end of Avengers 4, both Captain America and Iron Man are going to die.
And I'm going to cry. Many tears. I'm going to cry by eye.
So thank you guys for giving us your questions. I think we have one more chicken nugget. You want to split it?
Do we fight? To the death?
No, we split.
Okay.
There you go.
I feel like I ate so many more than you that you should have gotten this one.
That's okay.
But I'm ravenous. I'm getting a good dunk. I'm going to let it marinate.
Oh, you're grossing me out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We had fun doing these. Mm-hmm. We always have fun doing question and answers. I don't know why we don't do them more often. I can't promise that we're going to make this a regular thing because as soon as we promise that we're going to make it a regular thing, we just stop. So, thank you. If you have any more questions, you can always feel free to ask us and we'll do our best to answer. We try to answer every comment. And for everyone telling me that I missed Black Panther in the MCU video,
You're driving him insane.
You're driving me insane. I've probably answered 100 people. No, it's in there. You just skipped to the end so you didn't see the part with Black Panther because you think it's at the end naturally because it's the latest film. You're wrong.
I called him today just to see what he was up to, and we were talking, and in the middle of talking, he just goes, I did put Black Panther in it! Meanwhile, because he was, like, looking at his comments, and I was like, you have a problem, like,
it's
just
really
simmer down. Simmer down, Sally.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Bye!
Bye guys.